Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite, May 22nd, 2024. I'm also going to be talking about SmackDown after this video and Monday Night Raw. I'm going to do all three of these, or as much as I possibly can, before I get burnt out from this shit. This is a quick video because, ladies and gents, there was nothing on this fucking show worth watching this past Wednesday. Dynamite sucked. I'm going to get the pay-per-view and all that, but straight up, guys, I have no fucking care whatsoever to watch these week-to-week episodes. There is nothing worth watching on this show. I mean, there's some things here and there, don't get me wrong, that are entertaining. The matches are, some of them are good, some of them are like, who the fuck cares? And build-ups towards these pay-per-views are meaningless. Like, the only thing I really care about is watching the pay-per-views. Pay-per-views seem to be more fun than watching the week-to-week shows. And I'm certain a lot of people feel that way too, because there's no stories to these. There's just matches booked and that's it. Nothing else. I mean, Bryan Danielson went against Satin Singh this past Wednesday. Who cares? I don't even know why that took place. Apparently it was done through the Young Bucks, asking for Satin Singh to weaken Bryan Danielson. Who the fuck gives a shit? The match was fucking boring. I didn't even barely pay attention to it. Quite honestly, this time around, I slept through half of the fucking show. And no, I was not going to go back and watch the rest of what I missed. I have no fucking care to. I didn't even watch it live. I watched it Thursday night. I watched it last night. And honestly, I didn't miss a fucking thing. I mean, you had a kickstart of the show with Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy seems to always be the opener of the show. Why? I have no fucking idea. What is the point of Orange Cassidy always opening the show? I mean, somebody needs to talk to Tony Khan, man. Seriously. Tony Khan is on some. Or he just doesn't give a shit. And he's just milking this shit for what all it's worth. And if you start seeing a loss in value of money, he's just going to fucking, back out of this shit and walk away from it altogether. I have no idea. But personally, I am not impressed with AEW at all. I liked SmackDown tonight. SmackDown was a fun show. I'll get into that with you guys in a little while after I upload this video. This is just another rant for AEW. Their episode sucked. It was not even a go-home show. I don't even know what the fuck this was. I mean, they ended the show with Darby Allin coming to the arena with Tony Khan driving him up there, and he's sitting in the back seat like he's Tony Khan's kid, coming out of the car with a fucking flamethrower, and gives a fist bump to Tony Khan, and Tony Khan's like, yeah, there you go. Now go get him, kid. What? I mean, and then all he does is stand there with the fucking flame. Does anyone believe that anything was going to happen with that flamethrower? Does anyone think that he was going to light the Young Bucks on fire with it? No. So why the fuck would you bring that into play? Nobody gives a shit. It wasn't that great. Oh, he's firing the flame in the air with the flamethrower. Oh my god. It's so amazing. I sound like a retarded version of Cartman. I mean, what the fuck? Actually, let me rephrase that. I sound like a dumb version of what Cartman would sound like if he was dumb. Which, in some cases, he is. Anyway. From South Park, if you guys are not familiar. Who the fuck knows? But point being is, this show sucked, okay? That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. And no, I'm not an AEW hater. I love the fucking promotion, but there's a problem. The promotion is not being used correctly. The promotion is going downhill. And I don't like it. Swerve Strickland had a match with Nick Wayne. Okay, I mean, the match makes a little sense. They have some backstory with each other last year. His so-called father, Christian Cage, is having a match with him at the pay-per-view. So I can understand that maybe they'd have Nick Wayne have a revenge match with Swerve Strickland, and I'm fine with that. They didn't have to wait until the fucking go-home show to do this. They could have done this, after the announcement of Christian Cage being the number one contender. How they got to this, I have no fucking clue. Nor do I care. Because, honestly, who the fuck gives a shit? Do I care about who won this match? No, I don't. Am I going to be super excited about the Elite versus AEW wrestlers? I mean, the match might be fun, but does it matter? No, it don't. Eventually it'll lead to blood and guts. I don't know what they're doing about Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door seems to be a lost cause at this point. There's nothing more they can do with New Japan Wrestling and AEW unless they want to throw TNA into this and have TNA versus AEW, which if you wanted to do that, I wouldn't be totally against. Get to see Dolph Ziggler, Nick Zemeth, or whatever his fucking name is now, going up against an AEW wrestler. I would be totally cool with that idea. See Moose going ahead defending his TNA World Championship on an AEW pay-per-view. I would be totally cool with that as well. So, I mean, getting to see a crossover between TNA and AEW, I wouldn't be against. The CMLL, the Mexican promotions, no, I'm not too keen on that idea. I have no idea who are the performers there. I don't know them worth a damn. So, honestly, I don't think North American or United States fans are going to care about watching Hispanic luchador wrestling with AEW. I don't think that's the case. The only thing AEW's got to choose from at this point is TNA or WWE, and of course WWE isn't going to do shit with them. I mean, they could do something with MLW. MLW isn't exactly that big. I mean, nobody really knows too much about them. I think TNA is about the third best promotion in pro wrestling right now in the United States of America, which ain't saying much. So Forbidden Door is pretty much a dead concept at this point. I mean, last year's Forbidden Door wasn't all that appealing. It wasn't that great. So, I mean, honestly, I don't care. The women's championship match with Serena Deeb. Fuck, who cares? Obviously, Toni Storm is going to retain the title. I'd be shocked if Serena Deeb beats Toni Storm at this point in this run that she's on with this character. Because this character is about the only thing worth watching in the women's division. Not saying much there either. But at least it's a character. It's got some sort of appeal and whatnot. What else? I mean, Will Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné? Okay, great. The only reason why this match even matters is because Mercedes Moné is in the match. And not to mention Mercedes Moné has not earned a fucking thing to get a shot at this championship. And why would she want this title? This title is second best championship. If she's the top star, she's performed in WWE, a multi-women's champion, and she first woman ever with Bianca Belair to headline a main event of night one of WrestleMania at WrestleMania 37, and that's the title she wants to go after? Why not just put her in her first match in a grudge match with someone that's important, and then eventually build her up to challenge for a world title and have her win? What, because of an injury that occurred last year at a New Japan wrestling show that probably no one fucking knew about? Unless they're a hardcore wrestling fan who paid very close attention to all the news going on in wrestling. It's fucking stupid. I honestly didn't give two flying fucks. I honestly don't care if Mercedes Moné wins or not. It's her first match. Why is she winning a championship? It's not like she's Hulk Hogan going up against Ric Flair. A thing like that made sense back in WCW. I mean, Ric Flair was the fucking guy in pro wrestling. Hulk Hogan was the guy of pro wrestling. Both the top stars in each promotion. Hogan of WWF and Ric Flair of WCW. I mean, Ric Flair was a top guy when he went to WWF. So, I don't know. Maybe Ric Flair's the better guy than Hulk Hogan. I mean, Ric Flair was the better wrestler. As an entertainer, Hulk Hogan was the better entertainer because he gave you the best, stories, I guess you could say, or motivation, or, kind of giving you like a desire to reach your full potential in life. He was inspiring, I guess you could say. He's an inspiring character for the average Joe walking around on the planet. But personally, this is not like that. Mercedes Moné is a woman who, yes, made it in WWE, restarted her career in a different realm of wrestling. It's independent wrestling. And she is in a place right now where she does not deserve a championship match. She's not the level of a Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair. I'm sorry to tell you guys. She's a talented wrestler by all means, but she is not Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, or any of those big names from back in the day. I'm sorry to tell you. So my personal opinion, this is too soon. This is not the time for this shit. If Willow Nightingale did not have a championship and her first match was against Willow Nightingale in a grudge match, I'd be okay with this match taking place on the pay-per-view. And it would make sense. But she's challenging for a championship she never earned. She never had a match. So why is she getting a championship match? That's my whole point. And I think everybody realizes that. So I'll move off of that subject. Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong, I think it's going to be a great match, but there was no build towards this. He was in a fucking eliminator match. Elimination matches. Or not elimination matches, but he was in an elimination match where he had to pin several different people, or at least survive to the very end to be the last guy standing in the match, which he did, and he won. Okay, great. They didn't do nothing for several weeks after that. Didn't give us any kind of build. Did not utilize the Undisputed Kingdom in a way where we could see them as dominating faction in any capacity. We saw nothing from them until 2 or 3 weeks before the pay-per-view was supposed to take place, and we got the big confrontation backstage where they're having a conversation about who's going to win the championship. The same rhetoric that we've heard a gazillion times from many other title matches that have taken place in these wrestling promotions. Then apparently they had a contract signing on Collision. I don't watch Collision because I have a life. I actually do things on a Saturday. I actually spend my Saturday nights watching UFC, which is an actual sport that doesn't predetermine anything, and I make bets on it. If you haven't checked out my videos, I've left a couple of videos in the last couple of weeks where I've been doing pretty good. Some videos I didn't do so well. But point being is I'm very informative. I've taken very close looks at these fights, so it is what it is. But that's what I do on my Saturdays. I like to watch sports. I like to get some, I like to drink some beer from time to time and enjoy myself. Go do something with my wife, something like that, normal stuff that people do. Apparently people, well, maybe that's not considered to be normal anymore. Apparently people just like to hibernate in their house all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of doing that now in the last couple of months simply because of the fact that I am trying to save money to eventually maybe buy a house, live in a nice home, possibly just to rent if I can't afford to buy one, something of that kind of nature. So I've been kind of or very conservative on my money spending outside of betting, because at least if I'm betting and I win, I'm making money off of that. So I kind of see the point in doing that, but there's also a risk involved losing it, which I've done before in the past. So I've been kind of pulling back on that as well so that I give myself more of a chance to save more money. But point being is, I honestly don't really see anything worth talking about on this show. This show was an absolute fucking pathetic show. And anyone that wants to come at me and defend this, I don't think you have a leg to stand on, honestly. John Moxley, speaking of something else on this card, John Moxley is going up against Takeshita Okada. Or not Okada, excuse me, Takeshita. And he's going in a title eliminator match. We're not even getting a IWGP World title match. We're getting a title eliminator match. Why are we getting this on a pay-per-view card? Why don't they just give us the damn World Championship match? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Takeshita wins the title and he goes to Japan to defend the title? Like, they're having John Moxley, for God's sakes, going over there and doing that. Winning a championship he doesn't even work. He for a promotion he doesn't work for. I mean, the title looks great on John Moxley, don't get me wrong. But Takeshita, I mean, he ain't doing jack shit on AEW. Why not give him the fucking title? Let him go over to New Japan Wrestling. Give him something to do. At least he's got a fucking title. He's representing his own country. And on top of it, he's not just sitting in the back eating catering or being bored out of his mind. Because he's a very talented guy. Especially the matches he had with Kenny Omega last year, in the fall of last year of 2023, were outstanding. And very impressive. So I don't see the fucking point in putting him in a title eliminator when they could just give him the fucking title match. What, John Moxley's going to have to lose? Then the title match is going to take place? And then John Moxley's going to win, so we do 50-50 booking on this shit? Why not just fucking make the match happen for the title? It's a pay-per-view event. This isn't Dynamite, folks. You're spending $49.99 for a fucking pay-per-view to watch a title eliminator. Why would I care for a match like this? Is the match going to be fun? Yeah, but it's not going to be for the title. This makes absolutely no sense to me, and it's dumbfounding that you would be charging people $49.99 to watch a match that is not going to be for a championship that you could book for a Dynamite show. That is idiotic in my own personal opinion, and that has never happened on an AEW pay-per-view event, folks. You look through the history of AEW pay-per-views, you will not find one fucking pay-per-view where they actually have a title eliminator on the card. Now, granted, this is not an AEW championship belt, but still, you're talking about $49.99 you're charging your audience, and you're going to just give them a title eliminator that is something that's more suitable for a televised show. It makes no sense. And honestly, they should get rid of the title eliminators and literally have a match where we see one person going up against another person, two guys that deserve a shot at a championship, let them fight it out, and then challenge the champion at a pay-per-view or the next televised episode and make that the center point of your event of the Dynamite show. That's what I'd do. But hey, I'm not Tony Khan. I don't book the shows. I know what the fuck's happened to this guy, but he is completely off base and makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. But AEW at this point right now, currently at this point, my personal opinion, absolutely fucking sucks. If you guys find any value out of these shows, good for you, because me, I ain't finding shit. Anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. And I'll speak to you again soon for the WWE Raw and SmackDown episodes. Bye.